In this tutorial series, we will replicate the game World War Z in Unity. This will be a really in-depth tutorial series in which we will cover everything like the player movement system, the UI, the multiple weapons. Different weapons will have different damages. We should be able to switch between the weapons and the enemy AI, the UI, the health, the enemy health, their health, and the animations and all that good stuff. So we will cover everything and we're gonna make it everything from scratch. This is the fifth part of the tutorial series in which we will learn how to make the emanation system and also the reloading system. In the end of the video, we will be able to make this. So this is where we left in our previous videos. This is the fifth part. In the first part, we learned how to make the movement system kind of like this. So we can walk around, we can run around, and also the camera system. In the second part, we learned how to make the vaulting system kind of like this one. Alright, so we can vault over objects. In the third part, we learned how to make the aiming system kind of like this one. So we can look up, look down, and the camera zooms in and all that. And in the fifth part, we learned how to make the shooting system kind of like this one. So this is what we made in the previous videos, but in this video we will learn how to make the emanation system. So yeah, let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete all the zombies except the one so that we don't have any mess in our scene, and we are going to the player. And if we go to the movement FSM, and here it is. Now this is the FSM. If you don't know what this is, in that it means you haven't seen any of my previous videos. So if you have missed any of my video, then you can click the top the card on the top right over here. Just click over here and see the whole playlist. Otherwise you won't be able to understand what is happening over here. Everything you just saw in the beginning of the video, all of that was made without writing a single line of code. We made this with a Playmaker. Playmaker is a really cool asset that helps you make games without writing a single line of code. It's really cool, really easy, and you can get Playmaker. If you want to buy it, you can buy it from Asset Store, but if you don't want to buy it, you can simply get it for free. The link will be in the description box below. So this is what we made in the previous video. I just wanted to clear that out. So first thing what I would like to do is I would like to add a UI in the bottom right of the corner so that we can see how many bullets we have and all that. And of course in the future videos we are going to make the UI really beautiful, because there will be a separate video on how to make a whole full UI and make it really beautiful like the World War Z. So for now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say right click, create a text object, just like that. So it will be just a text object. Now if you press F, you can see we get out in the canvas, and this is the whole canvas. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the front view, just like that. Now if I go ahead and reset the transform of the text, it gets right in the center of the screen, and we can see the text a little bit over here, just like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring it. So I'm going to go to the anchor point and bring it over here, and also hold Alt and bring it over here so that we can just place the text on the bottom right. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the text a little bigger, but as you can see we make it bigger. I just did that by going to this option over here, and if we make it bigger, still the text is really small. So in order to make it big, you can go ahead and increase the font size from here, and when you do that the text gets bigger. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set the text to something like 30, because this will be the number of the bullets we have, and I'm gonna make it a little more bigger, just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and set the color to white, or you can set it to black, or anything, does not matter. And I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little smaller so that it looks good. Save that, and I'm gonna call this text a emanation, or just simply ammo. Bam. So there is our text going on over here. Now the next thing, we're gonna come back to the text later on, but first thing, we have to set the emanation. So how do we do that? So if you remember, in the previous video we made a firing FSM. So this covers the firing. So when we press the mouse button, we come in here, and here we shoot a laser, and we compare which object we have hit with the laser, and if we have hit the enemy, we're gonna kill the enemy and all that good stuff. So here is where we set the emanation, right? So again, if you haven't seen my previous video, make sure you see the previous videos first, otherwise you won't be able to understand what is happening over here. So if I come to the state 2, in which we shoot the laser and compare the objects, this is where we are basically firing. Alright, so if I just real quick play the game to show you guys, to make everything clear, if I make this smaller and play the game to show you guys what is happening actually right now, otherwise I think it will be confusing. So if you play the game, we come into state 1, alright, in which we are in the idle basically. If I go and go ahead and fire, you can see we are firing and he is going in the state 2. And when we kill the enemy, we go to the state 3, bam, and we come back to state 2. And if I release the mouse button, he comes back to state 1. So basically the state 2 is the state in which we basically are firing, and here is the state in which we are losing emanation. Of course in the state 3 we are killing the enemy, and of course we are firing some bullets. So but basically the major state is this one in which we are losing or firing the bullets. So here what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say float add. So basically float is a number, simple as that, and we're gonna store the float in a variable, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a new variable, global variable, and that global variable will be called emanation. Alright, so this, if I go to the variables, there is a float variable called emanation. Now we have not set anything about it, like what will be the value of it and whatever. We're gonna set that, but for now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and decrease it by 1. So -1. If we are adding -1, it means basically we're subtracting 1, right? Basic maths. And we're gonna do that every frame. Basically it means every second, but if we select that one, it will not properly work. So we're gonna just set this to every frame. Basically it means whenever we are in this state, we are going to decrease this float, whatever value of it will be, by 1 every second. Alright, this is what is happening right now. So with that done, we have to now set the value of this emanation float. So how we do that is we go to the movement, this movement FSM, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a new state over here, just like that, and I'm gonna call this state initialization. I don't know if the spellings are right or wrong, but does not matters. And I'm gonna go ahead and set this to start state. So whenever we are going to play the game, we are coming to this state first. So in this state, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and say set float value, and we're gonna set this float value, and we're gonna set the global value of the emanation. Now basically global variables are those variables which you can access in different FSMs. Alright, so we have emanation, and we made the emanation variable in this FSM, but we can access it to the other FSMs like this one, right? And we're gonna set the value of the emanation to whatever you want. In my case, I want the emanation to be 30. When the game starts, we want the emanation to be 30. Alright, the bullets. And then when that is done, we're gonna say next frame event, which basically means after executing this action, we're gonna come to, I'll just say next finished, and bam. So how I did that is by just control click over here and just add a finished state and then say finished. So if I play the game right now, you will see that we are coming to this state first, and then we go to this state, bam. So it just happened really quick, but you just saw we initialized the value of the emanation to 30, and then we come over here. Now if I shoot, we can't see anything, but basically what is happening is that whenever we shoot, the value of this guy minused by 1. Alright, so how do we see it, or how do we see it? So we see it by applying the value to this text over here. So how do we do that? If I go ahead and add a new FSM, so go ahead and say add component and say FSM. If you don't see this option right here, FSM, it means you haven't imported FSM Playmaker. So you can just simply buy it from Asset Store. If you don't want to buy it, you can simply click the link in the description box below and get that Playmaker and simply drag it inside of Unity and say import, and you can import it and install it. I already have done the whole process in the previous video, the first part of this video. So if you have again missed the previous videos, make sure you see them first. So I'm gonna go and say edit, and I'm gonna open up this brand new FSM, and in here we're gonna go ahead and say just say lock the FSM from here. Alright, just lock it and go to the canvas and select the mo text and drag and drop the text script inside of the FSM, and you can set this set property you can set the property, and we're gonna set the font. Where is it? Font, and from font, no, is it font or is it text? I guess it's text. Yeah, go to the text and say string, and we're gonna go ahead and set the value of the string equal to the float. As we go to the global, and we're gonna convert it from float to string, so it's the FSM will automatically do everything up for you. And we're gonna go ahead and select the emanation. Now basically what is happening is we are setting this value, the font, the text, equal to the emanation value, and it's automatically converting it from float to string. String basically is the characters, and make sure it is set to every frame. And now if I go ahead and select the ammo and set the value of the text anything like 1, all right, and now when we play the game it should become 30, because we are setting this value equal to the emanation, and emanation, when the game starts, the emanation becomes 30, right? We initialize it, and as you can see it is 30 right now. And if I go ahead and shoot, the value is becoming lesser and lesser, and it goes to -1, the negative numbers. But if you're shooting, as you can see, the numbers are decreasing, and as you can see now it is -2, because if I go ahead and select the ammo, the space is really small. But if I go ahead and decrease the size, you can see it is basically 200. So if I keep on shooting, the number will keep on decreasing. As you can see, it keeps on decreasing just like that. So while we are shooting, the number keeps on decreasing. So good, actually it is working. Next thing we want to do is we don't want to go to the negative numbers, right? So when it becomes equal to 0, we want to say that the emanation has emptied, and now we want to reload. So how do we do that is by saying float compare. Float compare, there we go. And we're going to compare the float, that is emanation, so the global variables and emanation, and we're going to compare it with 0. So when it is equal to 0, so we're gonna go ahead and say reload. Simple as that. Or in some cases, just for some bugs, we can say if it is less than 0, if it becomes a negative, we can easily do that again. Go to reload and make sure it is every frame. Basically it is every second, so we're gonna check every second, and we're gonna go ahead and make a new state and come over here. So if you play the game right now, when this value becomes 0, basically it should not we should go to this state, right? Okay, why is it 0? Okay, so for some reason Playmaker thinks that whenever the game starts, the value of emanation is 0 just for a second, and that second it just processes all of this and sends the thing to this over here. I don't know why. So in order to fix that, we can go ahead and make a new state over here and set this to start state, and we're gonna go ahead and wait. We're gonna wait for 1 second, and then we're gonna go ahead and say finished, and come over here. And when we wait for 1 second, the value of emanation will become from 0 to 30, as we are initializing it in the start state. So hopefully this will work, right? So this is was a little bug that I just saw. I don't know why it shouldn't have done that, but let's see now. Okay, where is it? Player. Okay, there we go. As you can see, now we are in state 2. The emanation is 30, and we are constantly checking if the value is decreasing. So if I shoot, and when we come to 0, it's no longer decreasing. Alright, so we are in 0 and we are in the state 2, which means we have to now reload. So if I keep on shooting, he is not decreasing that. Good. Now we have to reload. But the thing is that when we go to this state, we keep on shooting. However, the value is not decreasing or increasing, but still we are shooting. He's doing the animation, he is doing the firing and the muzzle flashing and all that. We don't want that, right? Because when we have no bullets, we don't want to shoot. So as you can see in the fire state, we basically are managing all of the firing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add a new state over here, and this will be no ammo. And this is the state in which we want to come when we have no ammo. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and say add a global transition, and we're gonna go ahead and first add an event in here. We're gonna go ahead and say no ammo, and we're gonna go ahead and click this sign over here, which means it is a global event. We're gonna come in here and say global transition no ammo, and as you can see, it is kind of like a start state. We can call this event from any FSM we want, right? So we're gonna go to the FSM that we just made, and I'm gonna go ahead and say send event, just like that, and we're gonna go ahead and send the event to FSM component, and we're gonna simply drag and drop the fire FSM in which we want to send the event, and the event name is no ammo, or the global events and no ammo. There we go. So everything is properly should working if I play the game right now, and if we have no ammo, if we come in this state, we should come to that state. So if we go to the fire, and we are in state 1 right now, if I shoot, bam, and now we come into the no ammo state. That is pretty cool. Everything is properly working. Now in here we want to go ahead and do some things like I want to go ahead and set the animated bull fire to false, and we also want to deactivate the muzzle flash. So we're gonna copy these two, paste two in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and play the game again. And now if we play the game, when we have no ammo, he stops firing, as you can see. Pretty cool, right? Now next thing is we come back to the normal FSM that we have over here, and we have sent the event. Now we want to go ahead and wait for the input for the player, from the player. So we can say get button down. Okay, get button down, which means when we press a button, and the button which we want to press is R for reload, right? So how do we do that is we go to the edit, project settings, input, and in here, as you can see, there are a whole lot of controls over here. So in order to make your own control, you have to increase this number by 1. In my case it's 29. You will have to increase it by 1. In my case I want 30, and the last one will automatically duplicate. As you can see, debug multiplier, and I'm gonna go ahead and real quick rename it to reload. This will be the name that will be used over here, and the positive button will be R. So R. Once you have set your control, you have to copy the name. I'm gonna copy that and close this window, and we're gonna go ahead and say button name is reload, that we just made, which is R, and we're gonna go ahead and say reload. Simple as that. So we are gonna stay in this state until we press R. I'm gonna go ahead and make a new state and bring it over here, and let's just real quick check if our button is working, that when we press R we are coming in this state or not. So I'm gonna shoot, and we're no longer shooting, and if I press R we come in this state 4. In this state 4 we want to do some reloading animation, and also we want to set the value of the emanation from 0 to 30 again, and then we're gonna come back to the start. Alright, simple as that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the this is the animator that we just made in the previous videos: idle, walk, run, vault, aim, idle, aim, walk, and there was another layer that we just made for the firing. So firing idle, firing continuous. Okay, so now we want some reloading animation. So if you don't know where to get animations, you can simply go to mixmo.com. So there, and in here you can simply upload your character and rig it for animations. That is what we did in the previous videos, and also you can find animations right here. So if we say reload, you can find a whole lot of animations over here, and all of them are free. So as you can see, this one in which he is reloading, there we go, he tries to reload something like that, and in here he is just standing and reloading. You can find anyone, but the thing is that in the previous videos we added a mask to this layer. So basically the mask says that if I select the mask, as you can see, everything that is happening in this layer is only for the upper body. So it does not matter what he is doing in the lower body. We are gonna neglect everything that he is doing in the lower body. All right, this is what we did in the previous video for the firing. So we only use the upper body animation for this. So it does not matter if he is walking, if he is standing, if he is jumping or anything. Basically we are using only the upper body animation. So you can simply go ahead and download this one or this one, the one that you like, and simply download this. And I'm going to download just real quick, and you have to simply drag it inside of Unity once it is downloaded. So there we go, download complete. I'm going to simply drag it inside of Unity just like that, and this is the reloading animation. I'm going to go to the rig, and first you have to set this to humanoid, as we do in the previous videos. As always, come back to the animation and say these three things. It is not a loop animation, so I'm not gonna check the loop, and he is doing the animation. One thing that you will notice is that we come over here, he is facing that direction. We don't want that, so we're gonna come over here and just change the orientation so that he is facing forward, just like that, and simply go ahead and hit apply. Bam. And then we're gonna simply drag it inside of our animator controller in the fire layer, and I'm gonna rename to reload. And then we will have to make transition from idle to reload and reload to idle, and from also firing to reload. Simple as that. We don't have to do okay, doesn't matter. We're gonna come back to the parameters, and as you can see we have to transition on some certain condition. So that condition will be boolean, that will be true and false, and we're gonna say reload. There we go. So whenever the reload is true, as you can see the lower body animation is neglecting, and we are only focusing on the upper body because of the mask. So whenever reload is true, we're gonna come in here, and the has exit time is false. Again the same thing, reload is true, we're gonna come over here, has exit time is false, and when reload is false, has exit time is true, we're gonna come in here. Has exit time basically means when you complete the whole animation, and then we're gonna transition over here. That is what we want. So okay, so there we go, he is doing the animation and he comes back to the idle. Cool. Now we want to go ahead and set this to true and false when we press R. Alright, go to the player, go to this FSM, and in here in the state 4 we're gonna go ahead and say set animator bool. The user owner and the animator boolean is reload. So make sure the spellings are the same, as mine are not. I'm gonna copy them and paste them. Make sure the uppercase and lowercase are matching, otherwise it will not work. And we're gonna set the value to true. Alright, just like that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and go ahead and set the float value of the emanation to 30, so that we full the emanation. And then we're gonna wait for, I don't know, 2 seconds to 3 seconds. I don't know how long is the animation. Reloading animation is almost about 3 seconds, so we're gonna wait for 3 seconds, and then we're gonna finish, and then we're gonna come back to the start state, just like that. And make sure you copy the set animator bool, copy that, and if we come over here, no, not the start state, sorry, we're gonna come over here, because this is basically the start state. So in here we're gonna go ahead and paste it and say false, because we don't want reload to be true when we are not reloading. So save that. Now if you play the game, everything should properly work. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna select the player. There we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot, we come to 0, and we are in that state over here. We can come out, we can move, we can do everything, but we cannot shoot. As you can see, if I press R, he does that animation for the reloading, and we have this 30, and we cannot shoot. Okay, but as you can see, it is 30. We have reloaded our an emanation, and we are now in the state, but we cannot shoot, because if I go to the firing, he is still in that state. Okay, so how do we fix that? Well, it is also pretty simple. How we do that is we come over here. Okay, let's see, we can come over here and say global transition and add a new event that will be reloaded. Loaded, there we go, and make sure it is also global, and go ahead and say right click, create a global transition reloaded in the start state, and we're gonna come back to the FSM, and we're gonna simply copy the send event here, and we're gonna paste it over here, make a new state, bring it over here. Oops, there we go. And this time we're gonna go ahead and say global event reloaded. We're gonna load that, because when we are reloaded, we're gonna come in this transition, and when we do that, we're gonna come in this transition, and everything will be good to go. And we're gonna come in here and say next frame event, and next frame event will be coming over here. So just a one simple state in which we send the event so that we can keep on firing. So if you play the game right now, hopefully everything will properly work. So we are in that state. We can now shoot, becomes 0. Now we reload. He does the reloading and we have 30, and we can shoot again. One thing that I just noticed is a little bug, that is, if we come over here and shoot the zombie, as you can see, the emanation was not affecting at all. So I reload it again and shoot him. As you can see, the emanation is not affecting at all. If I come over here and shoot something else, as you can see, the emanation is now decreasing. So that is not what we want, right? So how do we fix that? Well, the fix is pretty simple. You have to come out and go to the Fire FSM, and in here you have to simply copy the float add and paste it on the top in the state in which we are basically firing the zombie, and that should fix everything up. And now if I shoot the zombie, it should decrease it. So everything is properly working. As you can see, we can kill him and we can reload and we can shoot the zombie and all that. Now if you think that the bullets are emptying a little too fast, you can go out and set the bullets something like else. If I want, I can set this to 60. Come over here and just simply set it to 60 from here, and when you do that, you will see it will automatically be set to 60. I just clicked and it will fire. Okay, sorry, my fault. If I play the game again now, there was a little bug that I just, yeah, never mind. And there we go. Now we have 60 bullets, and if I shoot now, it is basically firing and all that good stuff. So you can simply set up the things to anything you want just from here, and basically that will be good. Now as you can see, it is again setting it to 30 when we reload, so you will have to fix one more thing. You have to come to the FSM over here, and instead of setting the value to 30, you have to set it to 60. Of course, you can set a global variable over here, and you can simply change the global variable value and do that, but that will be really simple, but it's all up to you. But here is how you make the emanation system, and of course in the future videos we will add a better UI, so it will look like WWZ and everything will be pretty cool. But this is how you make the emanation. So if I come over here and shoot, basically this is like that, and we can no longer shoot, and we're gonna say R, he's gonna reload, bam, just like that, and now we have 60 bullets, and we can shoot again, and bam. This is how you make the emanation system. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then subscribe to this channel, and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any future videos, because in the next video I will try to make this piece of shit follow me, and he will try to kill us, and with the AI and all that. So if you want that, make sure you see the video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, peace out.